Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond the Realms. Today I am reviewing my favorite black and white film. This is kind of a tie-in with Horrors Ball, and I figured I'd do this a little bit differently and show some of the movie while I talk about it, since this is a public domain film and won't get me in trouble here on YouTube. Figured I'd throw this in here for little added flavor. So, yeah, guys, this is Nosferatu from 1922. I've always really enjoyed this film a lot. This is the type of vampire film that's just it's genuinely scary. You know, I mean, I just, you know, if I think of a vampire film that's actually creepy and actually eerie, it's this one. I mean, just look at that right there. I mean, it's creepy as hell. I mean, you just don't get that from too many films at all. You know, I don't think so. This was directed by F.W. I know I'm going to butcher it here. Morneau. It's a silent film, of course, as you can tell. You know, being nearly 90 years old, this is a film that, without questions, has stood the test of time. And you know, I mean, I think a film like this should be mentioned in the definition for the word classic. I mean, it's just so fucking amazing in every way. I'm trying to get the picture here a little bit better. There we go. There's just so many things that's amazing about it. Basically, it tells the story of Jonathan Harker, who is sent by his employer Renfield to Transylvania to visit a new client named Count Dracula, to try to get him to buy a house that Renfield is selling. Along the way, Harker is warned of danger and phantoms, and even at one point the guy that's taking him there stops and he isn't willing to go on any further. Eventually Harker gets to Dracula's castle, and almost immediately he notices things aren't quite right, because he only sees Dracula at night, and when he does, you know, he exhibits this very odd behavior, like trying to suck the blood from a cut that Harker has and stuff like that. And Dracula signs the papers to purchase a house, but afterwards Harker's looking at this book called the Book of Vampires, and he becomes convinced that Dracula is the Nosferatu, which is considered like the bird of death, is what this book says. Harker's right, you know, and he figured out he's right, and he figured out it's a little bit too late, because he looks out the window and he sees Dracula loading up coffin after coffins into a coach, and he's heading back to Harker's hometown in search of Harker's wife Mina. Harker eventually gets back home, but, you know, at that point, you know, is it too late? Has he reached Mina? You know, so you know, it's as you can tell, you know, the story is basically it's basically Bram Stoker's Dracula. You know, it's basically that story. And actually, Frances Stoker, which is Bram's widow, she was so infuriated over this movie. You know, she cited copyright infringement, took it to court, and the court, she actually successfully sued the film company, Prana Film, to which the court ordered all prints of this film to be destroyed. You know, and it's crazy to think, because it almost happened. Like, you know, they went in, they destroyed all the prints that they knew of, but by that time the film had already been distributed worldwide. So, you know, it's still easy to be found, and it still can be to this day. Here's the part I was just talking about, where, you know, Nosferatu's loading up all the coffins. I like how it's in fast forward motion like that. But yeah, another thing, you know, most of the prints of this film that remain, the characters' names are changed. Like Jonathan Harker, his name is changed to Thomas Hutter. Mina became Ellen, Renfield became Knock, and Dracula simply became Nosferatu. The version I have actually has the original names still intact. You know, the print's pretty rough, but, you know, I mean, for a film almost 90 years old, and all of the controversy surrounding it and how everything was, you know, pretty much destroyed, it's amazing it's even still being seen at all. You know, the acting in this film, which is pretty much the case with any silent films, is something you have to see. It's so far removed from today's acting, you know, and it's not bad, you know, but it's just they overact in these films, and this is no exception. You know, not having to the dialogue to rely on. You know, actors in these silent films would often overemphasize every movement and reaction to a situation. You know, and they definitely do that in this. You know, if you talk about the acting, the first thing you have to mention is Max Schreck as Count Orlok. I mean, this guy is just absolutely amazing. You know, not taking anything away from Bela Lugosi and his fantastic portrayal of Dracula just 9 years after this, from the official adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. But Schreck is, you know, he's still the vampire to beat in my eyes. I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen. It's just amazing that the very first vampire movie is still to this day the creepiest, you know, ever. I mean, Bela Lugosi, you know, he had a different take on it, and like I said, I'm not taking anything away from his, but Max Schreck is just, he comes off as pure evil. You know, there's not one scene in this film that you don't feel like a foreboding presence and a genuine sense of fear. And you know, the thing about this too is Max Schreck was like never seen out of character on the set, you know, making a lot of the other cast and crew very uncomfortable. He's a very private man, and actually there's a film out there called Shadow of the Vampire, and actually Crazy J reviewed it here on Beyond the Realms a while back. You can go back in the archives and find that, but that deals with the possibility of Max Schreck being a real vampire. It stretches it into fictional territory, of course, but it basically tells a story of Schreck. But Willem Dafoe is awesome in that, playing Schreck. It's just a great film. I don't really want to go into that too much, but you know, I think you have to mention that film when you talk about this also. This is a film that I actually didn't see until I was in my 20s, because until DVD came out and stuff, this was pretty hard to find. You know, you can get it. It's like I said, it's public domain, so it pops up in all of the multi-horror DVD packs. You know, you can find at Walmart or Best Buy or wherever. Very easy to find, like Night of the Living Dead and stuff like that. But I immediately fell in love with this movie the first time I saw it, and have since watched it several times over. You know, it doesn't lose its appeal to me. It's one of those types of films that I appreciate more and more each time I see it. You know, this, like what you've seen in here, so by me showing it, you know, the scratchy frames and stuff like that, and the parts where it almost completely loses light. It adds to the creepiness of the film to me for some reason, you know. And I like the character of Renfield in this, played by Alexander Granich. He's just got this fucking weirdness to him, man, that just, I don't know, it's a charismatic weirdness. It just draws you into the character. And you know, and then you talk about all the classic scenes with Schreck as Nosferatu. This is just one of those types of films I can always pop in and watch. You know, I'm not big on silent films. It's not that I don't like them, I just haven't seen a lot. But you know, this movie is definitely high on my list of all-time favorite horror films. You know, Nosferatu is such an iconic character, you know, and he always will be. I just think, you know, any horror fan or any cinema lover in general should watch this film. It's a cinematic masterpiece, you know, and you know, don't let the black and white or the silent film thing scare you away. You know, I realize a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people just don't even want to give films like this a chance. But man, it's so worth it, you know, to sit down, you know, and just sit in a quiet room, watch this film by itself, because the music plays well with what's going on. Just let yourself be immersed in this film and take it all in, because this is truly a masterpiece that was, you know, has lived on for 90 years and is, you know, was made right at the beginning of cinematic history. It's just truly an amazing film, and guys, I definitely give this film a 10 out of 10. This comes with my highest recommendation. You know, if it's just there's Renfield there. He's just Or no, is that? Yeah, it is. It's just fucking crazy. But yeah, guys, check this movie out. I hope you guys like it. This is my pick for my favorite black and white film. And yeah, just check it out, guys. I'm Jason. This is Beyond the Realms. Thanks for watching, guys. Later.